Good afternoon. The manager and Victor Lindelof are here to take your questions on the game. If you'd like to put your hand up.
Hi, Ollie. What do you think it'll take to overcome a 2-0 deficit? And would that be one of the greatest achievements that United have done in Europe?
Yeah, it's a difficult task, but we can do it. We need the first goal, and we need to stay in the game until, if there's half an hour left and there's only one goal in it, anything can happen. But we need a good plan. It needs to be put in place, and we need to perform on the night, of course, because they are a team full of quality.
Hi, Victor. A question for Victor first. You're obviously speaking almost the same language as your manager. In what way has that made you feel more comfortable, and what has he done? What has he helped you with since he came in?
Well, of course, it's always nice to speak your own language, and so I communicate with him in Swedish, and he speaks Norwegian to me. So it's always nice, and right from the start, he just been helping me, and he's just said to me that just play your game and do the things that you're good at, and he's been giving me a lot of confidence to do that, and I think that's helped me a lot.
Sir Alex has traveled here with you, with his experience from big European nights. Will he speak to the players before the match tomorrow?
No, he won't. No. No.
But how can you use the experience from your playing career with the big European nights? For example, the Juventus match semi-final in 1999. How can you use that type of experiences to the players?
Of course, everyone knows that we can do it. We've done it, and the results in the Champions League the last few years as well have been, I don't want to call them strange, but they've been, like last year, Juventus lost 3-0 at home against Real Madrid. Then suddenly they were 3-0 up after 90 minutes against Madrid away. The year before that, PSG against Barcelona, we all remember those results. So there's so many examples of teams that can change results like this. Us as a club, we've done it so many times. The players have been fantastic away from home. We've beaten Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, which have given us belief that we can do this as well.
Ole Gunnar.
Where are we now?
Here.
Yeah, there you are. Sorry.
You have played in the Parc des Princes in 1995 with Molde. What are your memories of this special game, of the atmosphere at the stadium at this very time?
We were without the chance, really. We lost at home. I remember more my game at Ullevål that I scored against PSG, so that's one of my good memories. They were a good team back then as well, but the way they've developed has been fantastic.
Hi, Ollie, down here. I'm aware I've asked you team use questions, I think, constantly over the last couple of weeks, but firstly, Alexis, and secondly, you've got to make history to win tomorrow night. Does that sense of making history appeal to you and the players? Yeah,
of course. You know, when, call it, no one believes in you, there's always that little bit of character in yourself that we have to show ourselves. Making history is not really the motivation. Motivation is going through. I think these players, they're not used to losing. Not happy with the way we lost the home game, of course, but we know at our best we can match them. Yeah, it looks like he might be out for. It was a bad knee injury, so if it's 4 weeks or 6 weeks, hopefully he'll recover quickly.
Oui, bonjour. Une question en français.
Yeah.
Ici.
Hello. Question in English.
Do I have to put this one on now?
Hello. Question in English.
Le
French.
so
the president of PSG has recently said that Mbappe is a legend of PSG. What is your view about Mbappe, and do you think he is or will become a legend of world football?
Well, he has already started his career fantastically. He's a young boy, and it'll be interesting to watch the rest of his career. But hopefully tomorrow we can stop him here. He's lightning. In the World Cup, it was fantastic to watch him. So, but hopefully tomorrow it'll be down to Victor and our boys to stop him.
Hi Ollie. Obviously you've got 10 absentees. How much of a challenge is that going to be tomorrow? And can you tell us a little bit about Brandon? A lot of us won't have been aware of him particularly.
No, it's just one of those situations that you that we've come into, that we've lost a few players. We'll cope with that. We'll have a good team out there. We didn't lose any the last game, so Alexis was the one that we struggled to get fit for now. Brandon, fullback, who can play both sides, quick. It's the first time he travels with us. He didn't expect to come. But that's part of being here. That suddenly you're called upon. That's why you're in the academy. We believe in you, and suddenly you have to step up. That's why we've got good coaches for them to make them ready.
Hi Ole.
Hi.
You obviously know the club inside out, but after these 3 months, how well do you feel you know the players, both in terms of their character and in terms of what they bring to the pitch?
I learn more and more about them. Of course, when you win games, you learn things. When you lose games, you learn different things. Speak to them individually. You sit. We want to just develop our relationship. I want to help the club develop. I want to help the players develop, and that's the nice part of being a coach. That you work with human beings, and when you get to know them, you can give them a little bit of that insight that I've had throughout my career that I wish I knew 30 years ago. So now I can tell them what I wish that I did back then.
Bonsoir. Une question pour Solskjear.
So you arrived in Man U, and it wasn't that easy, complicated situation. So what do you think wasn't right during the first match against PSG?
Well, when you concede a set piece, that's always disappointing, and the next 10 minutes were the biggest problem that we had. We opened ourselves up too much to get that equaliser, and we know their qualities on the counter-attack. And I've got to say that 10-minute period, they looked like they were going to score every time they had the ball. We settled down again after 2-0, but it was too late then.
Hi Ollie. 3 years ago, Marcus Rashford came from nowhere and was put into the team sort of unannounced. You've brought a lot of youngsters with you this time. Can they kind of draw inspiration on that kind of feat that he achieved that night?
I think every young player who plays at this club is dreaming about coming on and having the impact that Rash has had. There's been so many examples of that, and that's the belief they must have to make it. And tomorrow night might be a chance for some of the youngins.
Oui, par là. Bonjour, Julien Froment de la Radio Europe 1 en face de vous. Vous avez énormément d'absents.
So you have a lot of missing players, 10 players. You've lost 2-0 first match. Isn't it mission impossible for Manchester United tomorrow night?
Never mission impossible. Of course, more difficult, but as I said here earlier, we've got to get the first goal. Then anything can happen. Football is it's a technical and tactical game, but it's also a mental game. Suddenly, goals always change games. If we get the first one, we'll be believing even more. So, and they might start doubting themselves. So, but it's important that we get the first one.
Victor, it feels like this season we're really seeing the best out of you at Manchester United. But I wonder what the experience is like coming up against someone like Kylian Mbappe. Is there anything you can do when he gets going? He seems unstoppable.
I think everyone here knows his qualities. I think he's shown that, and he's a world-class player. So, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, he's a good player, and you just have to be alert and be ready for anything. Yeah.
With so many injuries and the fact that you're trailing 2-0 and no one really giving you a chance, do you agree that there's hardly any pressure on your players in that sense, that they can go out and play with freedom tomorrow because there is such little expectation on them that all the pressure's on PSG in a sense?
Yeah, you can say that because we're 2-0 down after a home game, but we'll never approach any game as a lost cause. Of course, we put a pressure on ourselves that we can do this, but I think the outside pressure is off. I think everyone expects us to go out and go out easily, but that doesn't happen with Man United and Man United players. So we're hurt. I think our pride was hurt last time when we played them. So we're going to see players that are going to give their all, and if we get 9 or 10 at least playing up to the top standards, we got a good chance. We can carry 1 or 2 maybe.
Over here, David Ayo from Yahoo Sport. Regarding PSG position in the French league and Manchester United position in the Premier League, would you say it's an advantage, an asset for PSG because Manchester United has to focus on the Premier League too?
No, tomorrow's not, doesn't concern the league position at all. Of course, we've been focused on our games in the league. They've been able to. They won the league already. So, but then again, we are playing good football. You have to be focused, concentrated all the time. We got players who are playing. They're at the top of the form. I think the form has improved all along in the season, and hopefully we can put that together tomorrow night with 10-11 players really hitting form, and they can, if they relax, and let's hope they underperform.
Okay, last 2 questions, one there and one over there.
Hi Ollie. Following the defeat to PSG, was that the unhappiest you've been with your players after that game? Because you felt maybe they let themselves down?
I've got to say I was disappointed, yeah. Unhappy is not a word, but I was disappointed. I thought, at half-time, 0-0, with the injuries we had, we spoke about still keeping a clean sheet, because that's going to be important and vital. Then I was disappointed in the way we conceded the goals. Should not be conceding set pieces easily as we did, and the next 10 minutes where we looked all over the place. So, but the reaction has been really good after. We went to Chelsea, won that game. We not conceded against them. We didn't concede against Liverpool, so we know we're capable of keeping clean sheets.
Okay, last question.
Bonjour. Quand vous avez revu le match contre le...
When you've seen the game again back against PSG, did you get to analyze the mistakes that you've made and what you should not reproduce, during this game?
Yeah, we do analyse games, and of course it's easy in hindsight. It's the easiest thing in the world to sit in the stands and sit and analyse a game of football after. We should have done this, we should have done that. In the heat of the moment, we made a couple of mistakes, and at this level, when you make small mistakes, you get punished because you play against top class players. Sometimes you get away with it in the Premier League. You don't in the Champions League when you get to the latter stages.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.